her. It looks like almost half of that. So we'll watch this. Again, this these are fairly large fish, 4 to 7 pounds on average. Its sibling, though, maybe it's just a little too unsure of if it can hold its ground on against the force of that water. So it's sitting on the bank there. And siblings don't share food either. There's a lot of competition within the litter. There's competition for mother's milk. Doesn't seem like all of the teats on a female bear will produce milk at the same rate. Oh, and this should be interesting. I thought maybe 775, the bear closest to me here, might walk up and try to steal that fish from that cub, but it looks like he's going to try to maybe avoid that. So maybe that bear, that cub on the waterfall eating the fish, being just a little bit more aggressive, feeling, having the confidence to go out into the water, might grow just a little bit faster than its sibling. And that certainly can give it a competitive advantage when it is weaned. It might be just a little bit larger, a little bit more skilled at catching fish. And these cubs, again, are in their second summer. They're what we call yearling cubs. This may be their last summer with this female. And if you're just tuning in, my name is Mike Fitz. I'm a park ranger at Katmai National Park and Preserve. I'm on the Alaska Peninsula, about 300 miles southwest of Anchorage. And I'm standing on a wildlife viewing platform, an elevated platform about 10 feet off of the ground at world-famous Brooks Falls. If you've ever seen a photograph of a bear catching a salmon in its mouth, it probably was taken right here. And it could have been this bear that we're watching. She's been standing on the lip of the waterfall for over a decade. We have some bears here that we haven't seen at the waterfall very much this year. Like this adult male. This is number 634. He is nicknamed Popeye. Kind of got that nickname because he's big, furry forearms, especially when he was a younger bear, a subadult bear. Those are the immature bears that are between 2.5 and 5.5 years old or so. They're the teenagers of the bear world. And of course he's a mature adult male right now. He doesn't quite have the furry forearms that he used to, but he still has very blonde ears, slightly upturned muzzle, a fairly prominent shoulder hump. And so he can be distinctive because of those features. He's not, at the top of the hierarchy. He's kind of mid-ranking for an adult male. Most bears don't attain the size of bears like 747 in the plunge pool or 856 who's moving downriver following that female. Most of them are, again, ranked just a little bit lower, like 634 Popeye right here. He will also steal fish. Occasionally you'll see that happen. Each one of these bears has a unique sort of suite of fishing techniques that they like to utilize. They'll all utilize sitting or standing and waiting. They're waiting for the fish to come to them. And that, you can see, was just that strategy has proven successful for 634 here. Downstream of the waterfall, they may try to run after the fish. That expends a lot more energy, but many bears can't compete with these really big adult males up at Brooks Falls for access to fishing spots, so they are often relegated to chasing fish downstream. But if you are big enough and strong enough to maintain your position at Brooks Falls, then you can afford to sit here and wait for the fish to come to you. Even though they're so large and the water is fairly cold, I'd be surprised right now if it was over 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Rapidly, they're fairly large animals, as you know. They also have a fairly high volume compared to their surface area, so there's just not a lot of exposed body. The larger an object is, the longer it takes to cool down or heat up. So bears can sit in the water for hours and really not suffer the same effects that I would if I was in the water without something like a wetsuit or a dry suit. Just after a few minutes in this cold water, I would start to shiver, and a few minutes after that, I might start to lose a lot of my energy. But bears are very large animals, so they're well adapted to handling this cold water.